You seem uncomfortable. Do I make you nervous, Corky?
No.
Thirsty, maybe.
Curious, maybe.
That's funny. I'm feeling a little bit curious myself.
Hello, listeners. We'd like to play a game. You spend your time with your earbuds in, consuming podcast after podcast, not appreciating the craft that goes into this art form. You now have 3 hours to record, edit, and upload an episode on your top 10 saw traps. Otherwise, the phone that's glued to your hand will release a toxic gas. Live or die. Make your choice.
Welcome to Pleasers
and Punishers,
where we talk about movies that people love to watch.
Movies that ruin your today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
And all things kinky and queer.
I'm Caitlin of the North.
And I'm May, the most fun I've had without lubricant Schultz.
And today we're discussing if we might be in the rooms we die in. No, we're actually discussing Saw 2004,
Woo!
The feature debut of one James Wan, also written by Leigh Whannell and James Wan, starring Leigh Whannell. You'll see a theme here. Cary Elwes, which I now am...
Cary Elwes.
I'm almost sure I'm correct, but now I don't know.
No, you probably are.
Shakespearean actor Tobin Bell, and one Danny Glover.
Fucking love Danny Glover. Well, anyway, before we get into this, a trip to Saw City requires help, and today we're fortunate to have a guest. She's the co-host of the podcasts Fangs For The Memories and Tender Subject. She went viral on Twitter for a J.D. Vance couch fucking joke, and she's an incredible artist and all-around wonderful human being, my friend Kayte Terry.
Hi.
Hi, Kate. Do you want to say anything else about yourself?
I don't know if I could add to that, except for the fact that I went viral again on Twitter today because of my opinions about Saw. But we will talk about that as we move along.
All right.
I'm so excited.
Sometimes it's really interesting talking about a movie you absolutely love with someone who didn't really like it. So I'm looking forward to this discussion. Let's get into it with some role play.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim. All your life.
A twink and the dread pirate Roberts awaken in a tetanus-riddled bathroom with a body on the floor in a pool of slow-acting poison blood between them. They are Adam,
who is immediately fucked. Immediately.
And Dr. Lawrence Gordon, respectively. Dr. Gordon is convinced that no one wants Adam's unhelpful, whiny-ass kidneys, and they each find envelopes in their pockets containing microcassettes. Larry also receives a bitsy key that he tosses overhand to Adam. Doesn't matter. The key doesn't do shit. Until later. Adam retrieves a recorder from the dead man in the middle of the room and plays his tape, which calls him pathetic. Larry's is a call to kill Adam, or his wife, daughter, or a combination of the two will die. The rules of the game are laid out, but I'm too fucking distracted by the lack of blending on our man Carrie's face. X marks the spot for treasure, but there's also a whisper to follow your heart. So they get to work on the world's most murderous and feculent escape room, starting with Adam literally digging through shit. It also kills me that Adam doesn't go over to the tub and rinse his hands off.
Oh God, I hate it.
You got running water. What are you doing here? Ugh. All right.
What would you do? What would you do?
So yes, in the toilet tank, he discovers a bag with 2 hacksaws, but immediately breaks his trying to saw through his chain.
He's a stupid idiot.
We get a long set of flashbacks in Saw City Green about the Jigsaw Killer, a man who puts those who don't appreciate their lives into traps meant to test their resolve.
Or a man whose traps have technically never murdered anyone.
No, they murder themselves. Duh.
Obviously. They should have tried harder.
Detectives Tap and Sing are in love. They're investigating the Jigsaw Killer with the help of Dina Meyer, and they find a pen light from Larry's office and bring him in for questioning, but he's got an alibi. He's having an affair. The partners bring in an addict and the only survivor of Jigsaw's traps named Amanda.
Her hair is never going to look better from this moment on. This is it for us.
Yeah, that's probably true. She tells the story of getting all up in her boyfriend's guts to release herself from the iconic reverse bear trap.
I just want to say before we move on, we do have to acknowledge that pretty little queen, Billy the puppet, riding out on that cunty little red tricycle. She is here for the drama and the extreme morality tales. Let's go.
That's my favorite part of the movie. Just
Billy.
spoilers.
And listeners, if you don't know, I just got a tattoo of pinup girl Billy with an IE on my leg, riding a red bicycle, making a little kissy face, and I love her so much.
So good.
So back in the bathroom, which is impeccably decorated in putrid realness, Adam realizes that they're being watched using a camera behind a one-way mirror.
Hot.
Also, I looked up, and a two-way mirror is defined as a one-way mirror, sometimes referred to as a two-way mirror. So they just embraced the fact that people don't understand how mirrors work and don't understand that one-way mirror is a much better way to describe how that type of glass works, because on one side, you can see through it, and on the other side, it's a mirror. A two-way mirror would be reflective on both sides, in my opinion.
Math checks out.
Yeah. So we get another flashback showing us that Larry's not a great husband or father. Well, it turns out that Zepp the orderly from the hospital where Larry works was hiding in Diana's closet, and he pops out to tie her up along with Allison. No longer Detective Tap is watching from across the street because he still thinks that Larry is Jigsaw.
Girl is obsessed. Obsessed.
Oh,
Not
seriously.
give it up.
Back in flashback land, our partners in the streets, and allegedly by me, partners in the sheets, deduce where Jigsaw's hideout is located. They arrive without a warrant.
Ma'am, this is Saw City. There are no laws.
I mean, truly, most of the cops in Saw City are pretty bad. They discover the most adorable dioramas and butt crack Santa from Twilight strapped to a chair. Jigsaw shows up. He slits Tap's throat with a hidden wrist sword, very Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
And Detective Singh technically murders himself with a triple shotgun trap. In the present, Larry and Adam turn out the lights and find the treasure, a box unlocked by Larry's key from earlier. There's also a cell phone that tells us it's September 10th, 2001. Guess they'll never forget.
Shit. I didn't even notice that.
I've seen this movie so many times, and I've never noticed that.
I saw something about it. I think Erica sent it to me from the Saw subreddit last year or the year before, because my bestie Erica and I, we love the Saw movies. Larry pretends to poison Adam using the dead man's blood and a cigarette, and Adam does the worst fake death acting anyone has ever seen, followed by getting shocked through his chain. We also get some backstory on Tap hiring Adam to follow Larry.
Girl, he was never yours to begin with.
The events of both abductions, and Larry discovers that Zepp is involved just as time is running out for Allie and Diana. Zepp fails to kill the ladies, Tap arrives, and bullets start flying. After a tussle where Zepp escapes, Tap pursues him but is bested and killed. Larry then cuts off his own foot and shoots his boyfriend Adam.
To quote Dr. Gordon, "Fuck this shit! No! My family needs me out!"
So what you're saying is you'd be able to act better than Adam if you had to pretend to die.
Oh, yes. I die like a champ.
Zepp shows up to kill Larry, but Adam, who is not dead, smashes Zepp's skull with the toilet tank lid. Turns out Larry just shot him in the shoulder because he loves him so much. Larry and Adam share a beautiful, tender moment, and Larry promises to bring someone back to help Adam. After he crawls away, the dead body in the middle of the floor does a nice downward dog before standing up, and he's revealed to be Jigsaw, aka cancer patient John Kramer. Jigsaw lets everyone know that Adam is terrible at the game, that the key to his chain was in the bathtub, but we know it's long gone. Adam tries to shoot him, gets shocked again, and John closes the door with a resounding "Game over" as Adam screams and the credits roll. All right.
Brava.
Well, Kate, I know this was a first-time watch for you.
Yes.
So some initial thoughts and maybe some history on how you avoided this movie for 21 years.
I came to horror in, I guess, a strange way in that I watched a lot of like artsy-fartsy films when I was a teenager and didn't realize that a lot of them actually were horror. So, like, you know, like David Lynch and David Cronenberg, stuff like that. There are lots of different genres, but, like, they can be horror for sure. And so I, like, missed a bunch of the, like, real intense genre movies because I was a pretentious little bastard. And continue to be, I guess, to a certain extent. I've chilled out. I think I just was like, ew, I'm not watching that. And, like, I've been proven wrong many times by, like, a bunch of the slasher, like, gore movies. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a work of art. Brilliant. Everyone agrees with that now. I feel like that was a hot take at one point. It's not anymore. But yeah, I just, like, didn't want to watch them. And then I just never really needed to. And May approached me and was like, hey, you've probably seen Saw a million times. And I was like, I have not. And, like, I'm totally down with a fun, campy... I want my movies to be either, like, really good or really bad. Like, campy bad. And I
Did you watch Empire of the Dark yet?
No.
Okay. Maybe wait until you come to visit because I got it on Blu-ray.
Okay. And I don't think Saw is campy enough, except for when the puppet is on his tricycle and the tricycle is squeaking. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also really don't like that sort of like dirty music, like new metal music video aesthetic. It's not my thing.
And that's all this movie is.
Yes.
It was like the one to do it.
Yes.
And Caitlin, you watched a special feature.
Yes, I did.
That directly ties into that. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I think it was the producers were given the original short film that Wanel and Juan did. And the guys who were talking on the special feature were like, yeah, it's really cool. It has like this dirty, like industrial, like kind of Tool aesthetic. And
yep.
Which is exactly what Kate texted me.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I was like, this is like if Seven was a Tool music video.
Yeah, and aesthetically speaking, I cannot argue with that. The problem for me is I like that aesthetic.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, that's totally... So many people got so fucking mad at me on Twitter today, and I was like, you are allowed to like Tool.
Right, that's fine.
Right.
I'm not attacking you.
Yeah, I'm like, I like pretty things. I don't like when things are ugly. It makes me uncomfortable, and, like, maybe that's something I have to go to therapy for.
I mean, and therapy is great, so...
Yeah, but also, you are entitled to your opinion, and you having that opinion does not negate anyone else's opinion.
Totally.
You're not saying someone's a bad person for liking this movie, so back the fuck off, Twitter.
Yeah. I also just think it's like this movie, and I've been told that there's other, like, you know, there's so many Saw movies, so lots of changes happen.
There's a whole 10 of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I do think that this movie is, like, pretty fundamentally reactionary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Do you think you are going to give the sequels a chance?
I've thought about it. I was told by someone today that there are only 2 good ones, and neither of them are the first. And I was like, whoa, that's intense. Where are they?
I mean, my personal favorites are 6 and 10.
Whoa. Okay.
And
However,
mine are, 3, 6, and 10.
3, 6, and 10. Okay.
And 3 is probably my favorite of the ones I like less, just because 3 is where it really ramps up the gore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I say that having just watched it last night.
Okay.
So
yeah, and like I like gore. I also love traps and dioramas and like Rube Goldberg devices. So I was like, what? I really wanted to like all the like little devices more. I did love the diorama that you mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Well, that diorama is incredible. The level of detail.
So fun.
That's an A+ diorama.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if the study group on Community had turned that in, they would have gotten an A+. Caitlin, when did you first see Saw? Impossible to say that without it being funny.
That's true.
Right. Suddenly this all becomes a tongue twister. When did I first see Saw? I am guessing it was 2005. I was working at Hollywood Video at the time, so I had plenty of access to it. And I remember like the gigantic wall of just like DVDs and VHS just at the end there. What a time. And it was sort of when I started to expand the kind of horror that I was watching because I had so much access to it. Because prior, I was a lot like you, Kate. I'm watching these foreign movies. I'm like, oh, The Ring, please. I've seen Ringu, and
yeah.
I mean, the parts about ... So I absolutely understand. But there was just something about the way it was crafted. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with, at the time, we didn't know who the killer was. Like, that was a mystery, and I always forget that when I watch it.
Yeah.
Kate, were you surprised at the end?
No.
Okay.
I feel like somebody said to me at one point, oh, and there's a dead guy in the room, and like, of course he's not dead.
Oh,
and I was like, and I just like put it somewhere in the back of my head. So I saw, yeah. And then like later, you know, when she has to like dig through that guy's tummy, he's also not dead. So I was like, okay, so there's like a thing in these movies where there's like, maybe at some point they're going to have to interact with him and they're going to realize he's alive. And then they're going to have to like grapple with whether they have to kill him or not.
Interesting.
So I didn't think he was the killer, but I thought that maybe he was still alive and they were going to have to like actually murder him. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, Zapp is Ben from Lost, and that guy always plays a bad guy.
Yeah, it's true. Have we talked about Evil?
Evil. Yeah, he's also the
Evil.
devil in Evil. So it's like,
Leland.
So
I
good.
love him in Evil. He's so deliciously evil in such a cute way. And I was like, damn it, that guy's definitely bad. You know?
Got it. Okay, so you had a bunch of things that were like not necessarily pre-spoiled for you per se, but you had too many clues going into this.
I wish. I mean, if I had seen this in a movie theater in 2004, I think it would have been really exciting.
It was. And
Yeah.
that's how I saw it the first time. And I still remember when he gets up at the end off the floor, I literally like gay gasped so loud along with the entire fucking theater because no one was expecting that.
Yeah.
I think one person actually screamed.
Oh, I
And
would
I
have
was
screamed.
like,
yeah.
I may have just in my living room screamed.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been a Saw fan since it came out in the theater, and I fell off after seeing part 3 in the theater because again, part 3 is pretty gnarly in terms of the grossness. I do a weekly movie night with one of my partners and my friend Nicole and her husband Scott, and we've been watching through franchises. So we did Scream, and then we did Final Destination, and now we're doing Saw. And we brought over dinner last night. I was like, maybe we should watch something else before we start the movie. And I'm glad because like it starts out and it's gross. And we were all like, oh, it's a good thing we're not eating anymore. So I did not see another Saw movie in the theater until Saw X, which was now almost 2 years ago. So I'm a little sad about that, but I love this franchise. And speaking of, let's discuss the film's historical context in our next section, Faith and Chance.
I can't exist by myself because I'm afraid of myself, because I'm the maker of my own evil. Goodness is only some kind of reflection upon evil. That's all it is.
I get that reference. Sorry.
I'm so glad. Caitlin, why don't you tell us a little bit about what was happening in movies at this time?
So we are, it's mid-2000s. We're to the early to mid-2000s. And it had coming out of the 90s, which of course there was Scream, but there weren't as many like intense, kind of vicious, mean horror movies that were happening.
And there weren't a lot of original horror movies happening.
Correct.
And I don't say that disparagingly because I actually like a lot of the Dark Castle remakes. I think they're fun. But that's kind of what the focus was at that time, right?
Yes, there's a lot of the remakes going on. And in one of the special features, someone talks about how they just, I think it's Alexander Aja talking about how he felt that horror was softer. Like this is something that you would take someone on a date to potentially. But there wasn't like this hard edge to it. So of course, like 2 Australians just come over to the US because at the time they couldn't find funding for their movies over in Australia. You get a lot of government funds. The government was probably not going to be interested in funding their trapped in a room movie.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people consider Saw torture porn, which I will argue with that categorization. I don't think Saw is torture porn in the same way that something like Hostel is, because it doesn't have the same voyeuristic and xenophobic aspect to it. A lot of torture porn was a direct response to 9/11 and the Iraq War, and that's what was happening in the socio-political landscape. And I think that while Saw is still tied to that, I don't consider it torture porn because it's not about seeing people in misery. It's about seeing people try to figure out how to save themselves, how to save others, and how to improve their lives. I'm not saying Jigsaw is coming at this from the best angle necessarily.
What? You gotta give him a credit,
Right, at least he's doing something.
Yep.
Oh God, if somebody had just given him, I don't know, like I'm trying to think like what he could have done if someone gave him a chance, like what other things, like some sort of theatrical production he could put on, or like
he could open his own Grand Guignol theater.
Yeah.
As just underground mazes.
Or escape rooms, which like became popular later and like must have been a little bit because of Saw.
Oh, I can almost guarantee you that the emergence of escape rooms is directly tied to the Saw films. And I would say especially once you get to Saw 2 and you see all the puzzly stuff in there, definitely inspired escape rooms. And I don't know if there is a Saw escape room in the world, but if there is, it's probably the only one I would do.
I believe there's one in Las Vegas.
Whoa.
Well,
all right, well, we're going to Vegas
there.
It is. I do recommend the Meow Wolf there. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, so we do the Saw escape room, and then we treat ourselves to some shrooms and Meow Wolf. That sounds great. God, can you imagine being on shrooms trying to do an escape room?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, that would just be a bad idea.
No, I just like things to be easy while on shrooms. The easiest
I'm
things.
So happy to be here with all of you. This is so great. I can't believe we get to work together right now. You are all so beautiful.
Aw, thank you. Okay, so in terms of the influence this had on our culture, we got 9 sequels, although one of those does not exist to me because Spiral is an absolute piece of shit. I will not budge on that. I fucking hate that movie, and it does not belong in the Saw canon.
I wasn't a big fan of 7 or 8. I choose to not remember those exist. So
there is something that happens in 7 that ties back to all the previous movies that I am not going to reveal.
I know this already, unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's one of my favorite, like, oh my God, reveal things in the entire franchise.
I'm like, that makes no goddamn sense.
I don't care. The timeline and the character through lines and everything in these movies works, so I choose to let that slide.
Fair.
Okay, so
I will not take your joy from you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we also ended up with many imitators, including The Collector, which was originally pitched as a Saw sequel script. And my problem with The Collector is it's not fun. It's just mean, and there's no point behind what is happening. Like, you get no explanation of motive, which sometimes I'm fine with. But in a movie like that, where you have someone creating these traps, like, you know, sorry, slight spoilers for The Collector, but his traps are designed to kill people and hurt them. Jigsaw's traps are designed to test people's limits. They're not actually designed to kill people. And that's the difference to me. So I personally don't think it would have worked as a Saw sequel. But that's just me. So this also obviously launched the careers of James Wan and Leigh Whannell, who have gone on to very successful screenwriters, producers, directors. And I am so appreciative of that because James Wan has done a lot of movies that I really love, and Leigh Whannell has done a couple of movies that I really love. And I'm glad that this did that for them. And also, as of recording yesterday, Blumhouse absolutely officially acquired the rights for the Saw franchise, and both of our Australian hotties are back on board. Side note, if you look up pictures of them from like Saw Press in 2004, the way they look at each other, they have absolutely fucked. Like, they were definitely in love at one point.
It's like,
they were little Australian babies.
Oh, they're such babies. They're so adorable.
Oh my God, James Wan had like scene girl hair.
Aww.
It's so cute. I love it. With streaks, kind of like Gale Weathers in Scream 2.
I It's that I don't know if you want to fight me or fuck me, but I'm down for both.
Exactly. All right, and Caitlin, you added some stuff here. Do you want to talk about that?
I did, and actually this ties back into that idea of torture porn, not torture porn. And as mentioned before, one of the things that this was supposed to be a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of look at it through Argento and a Giallo lens, which is brought up in the commentary, which is delightful, by the way, with Lee Wanell, James Wan, and Carrie Elwes.
Oh my God, I have never listened to that. I might have to do that later.
So much fun. They're having a great time. They talk about like how much fun it was to make the movie, which is incredible for, how that bathroom looked.
Uh-huh.
And Tobin Bell just got to lay in a puddle of poison blood for 2 hours.
I do kind of love that it's actually Tobin Bell just laying there.
That's crazy. I was wondering how long he was there and if that was him.
Shakespearean actor, Tobin Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I do have to say, Saw 10, he is so incredible.
Oh, yeah.
He should have won awards.
Mm-hmm. When I walked out of that movie, my opinion, similarly to just seeing Final Destination Bloodlines, is this is not only potentially the best movie in the franchise, but aside from the franchise, it is just a good movie. It is a well-made, well-acted, very enjoyable movie. And you don't usually get that with the 10th installment in a horror franchise that's been running for almost 20 years.
Yeah, that's usually like major cash grab at that point,
right. Yeah, so kudos to the Saw team, for real.
Absolutely. And absolutely.
Oh my God, I say that all the time, and I don't mean to because I don't like Gia Gunn.
Wonderful. I'm just bringing up old shit now to upset you, apparently. So yeah, they bring up that like Argento being a one of they're coming out of like this horror bro kind of these guys, the Eli Roth, they're all like so into horror movies.
Boo. Sorry.
Yes,
oh yeah, no, absolutely boo. Like
thankfully James Wan and Lee Wanell are not terrible people.
Yeah.
Monster person Eli Roth.
Yes.
Alleged monster person Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Who all have just like this ridiculous horror knowledge and coming up and like, we're going to make some movies, our own movies. And when you start looking at this, you have, again, the mystery of who's the killer. When you're originally watching this, I absolutely thought like Dr. Gordon could have been Jigsaw. Adam could have been Jigsaw. Detective Danny Glover could have been Jigsaw. Like, Zepp could have been Jigsaw. So you're trying to figure out also like who is behind all of this? What is the purpose? You have black gloved figures and Zepp looking at the video. Adam's flashback, which that flashback when how they're lighting the scene with his camera.
Which is very Rear Window. And obviously that was I think that was also used in at least one Giallo film. And
The Flash.
Yeah. And then it's used for different
Peeping
purposes in Your Next. Peeping Tom might have done it. I cannot remember.
Something similar, at least.
I own that on Blu-ray, but I have not watched it since I got it on Blu-ray, so I haven't watched it since high school, so I don't remember.
I think the thing that about Giallo is that they're just so inherently sexy. It's the Italianness of all of it, and like the soft focus. The blood is like paint. Everybody's got like the best outfits ever. Yeah, this is like a very unsexy movie.
Yeah, it honestly, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
No part of this movie has anything to do with sex, which is again, interesting for a horror movie, especially at this point in time.
Right. Yeah, there's no titties.
Right.
No titties.
You will get some titties in Saw 3, just FYI. But
thank God.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But like, there's almost no nudity in this series or this franchise.
Yeah, there's very little.
Yeah.
Other than one scene in Saw 3, which is pretty intense.
Okay, so when he goes to the hotel, the seedy hotel, to meet his mistress, it was so deeply the whole scene was so unsexy that I actually thought he wasn't cheating on his wife and he was doing something else that was like even weirder.
I don't think he is cheating on his wife.
No, he is cheating on his wife, but that
Not
was
sexually.
the first time he was going to have sex with that particular resident.
Okay.
Because she's a resident who's under him, essentially. And that was going to be the first time with her. The person he was cheating on his wife with previously, back when his pen light was found, was a different person.
It was Zeb. Okay, so you find out later why his pen, because that was like a plot hole. I was like, why the fuck was his pen light there?
Oh, because John was his patient.
Yeah.
So he got a hold of one of his pen lights.
Oh, I saw he like planted it there, going, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah,
well,
I mean, probably.
But we see in the movie during that flashback when
it was very
Larry
fast.
is talking to the residents and Zepp walks up and he goes, "His name's John. He's actually a very interesting person."
Right. Yes.
And you can see that John, aka Jigsaw, has the blueprints for Amanda's reverse bear trap that he is just working on while he's in his hospital bed.
Oh my God.
Casually.
Yeah.
No big.
I'm telling you, this franchise, in terms of timeline and all of these interconnected threads, it's pretty airtight.
Okay.
I'm not going to... incredible.
Yeah, I would say it's tied with Child's Play, the Chucky franchise, in terms of consistency and, what is the word? Continuity. There we go. Mm-hmm. All right. And then... the next line in your notes is killing me, so please read that.
I love how we go from the Profondo Rosso Billy moment in Adam's shitty apartment to like the Porco Rosso pig person killer in the garage. Like, what amazing.
From Argento to Miyazaki.
Yeah. Do we learn more about the pig?
Yes.
As a costume? Okay. Because,
I
was like, I want to know so much about the little jigsaw puppet and the pig.
Like, who's making all of these?
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to keep watching Saw movies, we will bringing you on to talk about Saw movies.
Oh my God. Okay. I have to think about this. This sounds...
You can be our Saw
the
virgin.
Saw correspondent.
Yes. Yeah, our Saw City correspondent, Kayte Terry.
Yeah, I do. Saw City is really the worst. Everything about Saw City is disgusting and ugly.
That's why I believe it's in Ohio.
I thought it was LA.
No, it's definitely not LA, but they never give you a single clue as to where it is. And just because no one ever wants to go to Ohio, and as Buffy fans, we know there's a Hellmouth in Cleveland, I assume it is somewhere in Ohio.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Yeah, it's just a very uninviting place.
No lies.
Yeah, everything's green and gritty. The cops are terrible. The hospitals seem not great either.
I mean, that hotel,
why would you want to go there?
You're taking your mistress to that hotel, and you're going to park your Beamer in that parking lot? Get out of town.
Choices.
Get out of Saw City.
Yeah.
All right, now before we're kicked out of Saw City, let's make that money. And now we'll dig into the meat, the goo, and the viscera in a section we call Enough is a Myth.
No. I've done enough. Enough is a myth.
All right. Without spoiling anything, John seems a bit meaner and more mental health shamey than he will be in later sequels. So, do we empathize with his plight or even sympathize with him at all in this movie? Or do we think he's just a fucking asshole?
I hated some of the kill decisions. Like, really made me deeply uncomfortable. And I know, like, you know, yes, he's a serial killer. Like, I'm not supposed to like him. But the one where he's, like, the guy
in the barbed
who
wire
tries to kill himself. Yeah, and then that is deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, like, the shaming of, mental illness, suicidal ideation, and addiction is like, woof. Kill some CEOs.
Right. And I will tell you that does change as the series goes on. It does get better, and you might even come to eventually go, you know, Jigsaw's got a point.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, because I think, like, that's the thing about so many horror movies. When, like, everyone's yelling at me on Twitter, and they're like, you're not supposed to like him, and I'm like, are you serious? People identify with villains in horror movies all the time.
Yeah, that's
like,
why us queers love horror movies.
That's
so
a big
much.
part of horror, is identifying with the villain.
Yeah, so I will be interested if you continue on this journey through Saw City with us to see how your opinions evolve, and if you eventually revisit the first movie and like it more after you've learned all of this other stuff. So we'll find out.
Okay.
What do you think, Caitlin?
I think that unlike the poison that is in everyone's blood, that this must be a fast-acting tumor in Mr. Craner's frontal lobe, because these punishments do not fit the crimes. Alleged, big quotation mark, crimes. And we're really more in that kind of like, you aren't appreciating life, you fucks, and not the, like you said, these are bad people who have done bad things that do deserve to be punished, that we'll see as the franchise moves forward. But at this point, it's like, oh, your morality is, I don't think you're in the right place, sir.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with y'all. I think the shaming of mental health stuff in this movie is not great. And it is also very mid-2000s. We were not taking mental health seriously at that time, and especially tying it into the conflict in the Middle East, where you have soldiers being sent over there for a war that shouldn't have been fought, and either not coming back or coming back with severe PTSD because of the things that they had to do, and their mental health wasn't taken seriously at all. So it was a time in our culture where if you were dealing with that kind of shit, you just kept your mouth shut about it, which is really unfortunate. I'm glad that we've moved away from that 20 years on. And mental health is still stigmatized, even though we're more open about it, even though it's more widely discussed in culture and in media, there is still so much stigmatization around it. And that sucks. It sucks as someone who is very neurodivergent and has a large handful of diagnoses. I just want to exist. You know, I just want to live my fucking life. And if John Kramer's going to be mad at me because I self-harmed in high school, like, come on, dude. I'm good with my hands. Let me help build your traps.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
All right. So speaking of helping John, Zepp is technically coerced into doing this because of the
slow-acting poison coursing
through his veins. But he also seems to be enjoying himself when he's dealing with Allie and Diana, Dr. Larry's wife and daughter, respectively. Do you think he would have helped John if John had simply asked him to do so? And I'm adding a question that's not actually written down. Do you think John would have been pissed off at Zepp for his behavior during this? Because he was not behaving like someone who was trying to change. He was behaving like a fucking psychopath who was delighting in the fear that these two ladies are feeling.
I don't know about this, John.
Yeah, that's fair. This John would be like, means to an end. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Zepp is, he's still following the rules.
Technically, yeah.
Technically.
That's true.
But I do think that if John had asked, yes, absolutely. Like you said, Zepp had already said that, oh, he's a really interesting person. Like, he had been talking to John. It seemed like he was primed to, like, form a kinship.
Yeah. What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, I think Zepp is, like, a victim of the male loneliness epidemic. And, like, very much needed someone to pay attention to him. And so I think that he probably would have just joined in. And, like, I don't know, I was thinking about, like, if John wanted to punish him also for getting too carried away, he did. Like, he kind of maybe he could have guessed that, like, Zepp was going to get killed in the process too. You know,
that's fair.
So, like, he did kind of get what he did get punished. You know.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. Here's a fun one. If you were put in a saw trap meant to test you specifically, what would it be? And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. I could always cut this part out.
It would be a car.
You'd be in a car and you'd have to drive.
I'd have
through
to
rush hour
drive.
traffic.
I don't know how to drive. Yeah.
I don't
I don't
cool.
think I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know my license. I never got it.
Same.
Okay.
Woo!
Very exclusive club.
There's a bunch of, like, very weird little, like, things that I feel like I don't know how to do. And if someone put me in a trap and was like, you have to do this thing. Drive. What else do I not know how to do? Excel. What if you had to do an Excel spreadsheet over and over again and it just like got deleted at the end of the night and you had to do it all over again? I don't know.
I just got like chills.
That's very Sisyphusian.
I was just like, oh, ugh.
I think for me, I would have to save one of my. Sorry. I forgot I only have one cat now. Oh. I think I would have to save my cat Mal from a goopy mud pit.
Oh, it's like the never-ending story.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Our text. Oh. So, yeah, I would have to save Mal from the swamp of sadness, but also the music playing while I did it would be something like, modern pop country, just to drive me crazy with some psychological warfare.
Brad Paisley.
I don't even know what he sounds like. Thankfully.
Pretty bad.
And I hope I never do.
Yeah.
Caitlin, do you have a specific answer for this?
I do. I was trying to think of my sins. So I am pretty sure, and if any of my family is listening, please just skip ahead a bit.
Oh, God.
I would definitely be like having to escape being tied up, probably attached to one of those horrible like Sibian like orgasm machines that scare the shit out of me because like I'm very sensitive already.
Oh, me too. Oh, we have so much in common.
Look at this.
This is also funny because Kate, I feel like we brought up Sibians sometime recently.
I talk about
we were
Sibians
recording.
all the time because I think they're so funny that they're like furniture.
Yeah,
and like people
furniture.
use them as like side tables when they're not like fucking on them.
Incredible.
Multifunctional. If you have a small space, you have to make do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'd have to like get out of there before I guess my like just clit explodes. So I think that's my saw trap.
Well, that's pretty incredible. Okay, so then you added a question here, and that is, what is the grossest thing you have ever had to put your hand in?
Ooh.
So I'll let you go first on that one.
I have two, which are sort of similar, but I'm going to go with, I used to karaoke host, and we had to take everything down at the end of the night and put it away, even though it wasn't our stuff. But that's fine. I'm not mad about that part. What I am upset about was the time I was putting a wire away, and I am minding my own business, and all of a sudden I go, what is that? And there's dog shit in my hands.
Oh.
Because someone, and I
no.
don't even know how I missed this, had, tracked dog poo on the stage, gotten it on the wire.
Ew.
Oh, that's
Nasty.
awful.
Because also I had, you're not prepared for that.
No.
No, I would have just screamed and started crying.
I went, I will never tell my partner, Brian, because he may never touch this hand ever again. I think I told him maybe a decade later or something. And I was like, oh, right, when that happened. He goes, what? When? I'm like, anytime, I guess. You mean I didn't tell you about that? Weird. I don't know why. That's mine.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty horrifying.
That
What
is
about
pretty-
you, Kate?
I was just thinking about, because I was like, okay, what if I put my hand into that's disgusting that isn't like puke or shit? Because that's like, those are disgusting things. But I have this like very vivid memory of I used to go to raves in like, super gross. In Saw City. I used to go to raves in Saw City a lot. In abandoned mannequin
Time for a rave in
factories.
Saw City.
Yeah. And there was this one rave I went to that was so filthy. And like, where everybody had like super long like Jankos and like you're just tracking grit and goo and whatever. But there was
gravy.
some like mystery foam that just was everywhere, and it was just like an amalgam of stuff. I don't know what it was. It was so gross. And I feel like at one point I like touched it because I dropped something, and I was just like, ew, why is this gritty? It's like gritty and foamy and wet and goo. I don't know. It just was the most horrible thing ever. It was just the worst. Like, raves were so disgusting. I mean, I guess that's the real reason why people were on a lot of drugs.
So you can just deal with
disassociating.
Right. You don't have to know what is going on in your surroundings. You're going to be okay.
Well, I used to do low voltage electronic work. So I would run wires, I would terminate the wires, I would hang TVs, all that kind of shit. So I have had to crawl through some truly, truly disgusting places. There was one time I was in a drop ceiling and a rat ran over my hand, which I like rats. I think they're cute. But when you're in the dark up in the ceiling trying to run wires and a rat unexpectedly runs on your hand, pretty scary. And right after that, I put my hand in a pile of rat poop, unfortunately.
Oh.
And then, I don't know, cobwebs really freak me out. There was one time I was doing work for a guy at his like vacation house up in Michigan, and there's an underground concrete crawl space that connects like the pool house and the main house, and also an equipment shed, I would call it, where all of the distribution for the satellite was. And so we were running some new wires from there into the main house, and no one had been down in this crawl space since the original wiring had gotten run probably a decade before. And it was so thick with cobwebs, I had to basically use duct tape and a cardboard box to make a shield that I could push in front of me to clear out all of these thick cobwebs. I ended up with so many fucking spider bites. And the whole time I was down there, I was basically having a panic attack. And I was like, I just got to do this and get it done and get the fuck out of here. And, at least I got to go jump in the pool.
Yeah.
I now see why when Infested came out, you were like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah, no, I will never
That's
be
so
watching
nasty.
that movie. Yeah.
Sidebar, when you said that you used to do low voltage electronic work, I thought you meant like a violet wand.
Well, you know what? I have
And
played
I was
with a
like,
violet
oh, okay.
wand. Yeah. Violet wands are fun. It's not my favorite
I have one. It
sensation.
just kind of hangs out in my house
Yeah.
most of the time.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Oh, so a violet wand is basically a conductive electronic device that uses electricity and various different kinds of attachments to give someone low intensity shocks. And, you can use it gently and just kind of like run it near someone's skin and watch the little like purple sparks happen. You can use the spike attachment, which was not fun for me because it essentially concentrates all of the conductivity into one point. So it feels very sharp and I don't enjoy that. I think, honestly, violet wands, unless you are very, very into electroplay, I think they're more fun for the person using it than the person receiving it.
They're fun to like pull out at a party because they're kind of like very showy, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the orgasm wall at the frat house in Buffy.
And like the one that I think is the funniest is the one that you turn yourself into a conductor. So you put like a little thing on yourself, and then if you like touch someone with your fingers, you're sparking them, or like you could spark them like tongue to tongue, which is kind of funny.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the one that I think I enjoyed the most when this was done. But it's not something I would ever invest in personally.
Not an investment piece for
Not
you.
like a Sibian.
Right.
I don't think I would really enjoy a Sibian. I feel like the vibration would just be too much. Like I like vibration that's more on an area, like a small area.
Yeah.
Without being too concentrated, but spreading intense vibration out to such a large area feels like it would be unpleasant for me.
Yeah.
Terrified.
I barely ever turn my vibrator past like the first setting.
When I use my Hitachi, I put it on 1.
Yeah.
And I have a dimmer extension cord because I have an old wired Hitachi. So I have a dimmer extension cord so that I don't ever have to do it on full blast.
That's so funny.
All right. Well,
anyway,
we're talking about sexy games, so let's figure out how to categorize this movie in our next section.
Let's play a game. Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
All right, so we're called Pleasers and Punishers. We also have our third kinky queer category. What do you think, Kate? How would you categorize this movie?
I think it's a Punisher.
And that is totally fair, and that is totally valid.
I love this for you. I love this journey that you're on right now.
Do you see the queerness in this, though?
I was looking for it because I was like, some queer subtext is like subtext, but it's obvious. This is like, I feel like you gotta work for it. I do think there's like a romantic moment at the end with Lawrence and Adam. That is actually kind of that might be my second favorite moment in the movie, which is promptly ruined. But yeah, I don't see, other than like, I don't know, like, John is like a theater kid and he's like playing with puppets and lives in a mannequin factory and has dioramas. Like, maybe he has some sublimated desires that have turned him into a serial killer, but I don't see a lot of queerness. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah, what about you?
I think this is actually a very queer movie. And I know I make jokes about it, but I really do see love between Detectives Tapp and Singh. And I don't think it's just because they're cop partners. I think that there is something deeper going on there. The way that they look at each other, the way they kind of inherently trust each other, and the absolute devastation that Tapp feels after Singh has been killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, there's this weird tension between Larry and Adam, the fact that Adam has been watching and photographing him. There's a voyeurism aspect to it. And all of that just kind of works for me. And I've also watched this movie over a dozen times in the last 20 plus years. So I've had a lot of time to sit with this and think about it. And, you know, obviously there's an extreme kink read you could do here with the traps. I'm sure there are people who do scenes that are Saw-like.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually kind of a bummer for me because that's one of my, like, kink triggers is, like, traps, like, devices, like, stuff like that. And so I was expecting that to, like, hit more for me, and it didn't. And I was kind of bummed. That's fine.
You know, there might be traps in future installments
Maybe,
that hit that spot for you.
Mm-hmm.
They may just get more and more complicated as the franchise goes on, as they tend to do sometimes. I guess the good ones do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think overall, if you're a fan of Saw, you're going to have a great time watching this movie every time you watch it. And especially if you're showing it to someone who's never seen it, who doesn't know the twist at the end, it is glorious to see people like have that realization wash over them. It's really fun. So yeah, for me, this is a kinky queer pleaser. What about you, Caitlin?
I definitely think, for me, it's a pleaser. Like you said, that twist at the end, that was kind of like, for me, that was my sixth sense. Like, I saw the sixth sense, but I figured it out very quickly without anyone actually having to spoil it for me, which was a bummer.
Oh, and hey, Saw City connection. Detective Eric Matthews in Saw 2, played by Donnie Wahlberg, who also plays the guy in The Sixth Sense who shoots Bruce Willis.
Mm.
And he just Wahlbergs all over that movie.
Oh, yeah.
A whole...
He really does.
Oh, Wahlberger. I mean, obviously, we have two men who are chained in a room. There's a one or two-way mirror.
A
one-way
mirror,
window?
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting way to describe it. You can only see through it one way. I like that.
I like that
I'll
too.
allow it. Yeah.
Thank you. It took me a while to figure out what we were looking through, so or not looking through, depending on which side you were on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think kind of going into that, I can definitely see queerness and kink aspects. And at the same time, as Kate said, this movie is not sexy.
Yeah, that's
sadly.
very true.
So even though, like, there are those elements, it's not, Hellraiser. But I still love the movie regardless. I don't care.
All right. Does anyone have any final thoughts besides me saying that Charlie Clouser, formerly of Nine Inch Nails, does the score, and I actually really fucking love the score. He's done the scores for, I think, every movie in the franchise, and is it sorta somewhat generic industrial movie score other than the Hello Zepp track at the end? Yeah, but it works. And anytime you're watching a Saw movie and that do-do-do, do starts up, you know shit's about to be awesome. And you're probably going to get flashbacks to things that happened 2 minutes ago in the movie. And that's okay.
And they're going to blow your mind.
Yeah, do y'all have any final thoughts you want to share?
I think you nailed it.
Okay.
Well, for me anyway. Kate might have other thoughts.
I am totally interested now in like watching some other ones, given that everyone has such hilariously varied opinions on like which one is the best one. And I love when people are like, the first one isn't even the best one. And you're like, what?
But how?
How? Because that like doesn't happen. You know, that's not usually how a franchise works.
Right. And, you know, I would say with the Scream films, the first one is always going to be the best one. Are there other films in the franchise that I enjoy watching just as much? Yes. And that first one is such a landmark piece of media that nothing in its wake is going to eclipse it, in my opinion. Whereas Saw, it's by no means a perfect film. It is far from a perfect film. But I still love it, and obviously it had a pretty decent cultural impact, and I'm excited to see where the franchise goes next, and that we're not covering Spiral, so we have 8 more movies so far that we'll be able to talk about. And on that note, let's wrap up with what awaits you next time.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police, not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
And that brings us to the end of our episode. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey, fellow travelers. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review wherever you can, because it helps people find the show and it makes us all tingly inside. You can find us on Instagram and Blue Sky at pleaserspunishers, and you can email us at pleaserspunisherspodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Blue Sky and Letterboxd at Everson Poe. You can find my music on Bandcamp and streaming services as Everson Poe, 2 separate words. You can hear me on Slayerfest 98 as a rotating co-host, and Tender Subject with Kate as a rotating co-host.
What are the odds?
Where can you be found on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Caitlin of the North, Caitlyn, and Letterboxd at Cat of the North, because my name is too long.
All right. And Kate, where can people find you and other podcasts that you're part of?
Well, like May said, I'm the co-host of Tender Subject with May, which is a podcast where we talk about discourse and theory and film and books and art, specifically about cannibalism and body horror and all other transgressive things.
And it is very sexy.
It is. It is.
Much sexier than a Saw.
We try. Yeah, we try. We try, because I'm a pervert, so if I'm picking the movies, yeah. Or May.
Bring in the perverts.
Yes. Fangs For The Memories is my Buffy rewatch podcast I do with Leslie, and May has been on several times. We are doing season 7, so we're almost at the end. We don't know what we're doing next. It is the most fun season. I love season 7. Fun. I actually love season 7 because it's like the collective Slayer, which I think is really cool. And you can find me on Twitter getting yelled at and yelling at people at Kayte Terry, and on Instagram at Kayte T. And then I like to just mix it up and just change my name for every stupid platform I join. And then on Blue Sky, it's Wormbucks.
with 2 X's?
With 2
or 3?
X's, which
2
is
X's.
a very abstract reference to When the Skeletons Come Out at Night song from I Think You Should Leave.
They pull your hair up, but not out.
It's true. It's true. And I think that's about it. You could see I have a artist website. I actually make really serious art, guys.
It's really good.
Thank you. It's KayteTerry.com. Kate with a Y. And that's it.
All right. Well, next week's episode is going to be on 2025's Companion, which I have already watched 5 times.
Oh, my.
All right.
I love this movie. It was my number 1 movie of the year until I saw Bring Her Back, but I'm also never, ever watching that movie again, whereas Companion, I will continue to watch over and over because it is a fucking blast. So I'm really excited to talk about that next week. And until then, make sure you do some aftercare, clean your toys, set healthy boundaries, and
never fuck a guy who lives in an abandoned mannequin factory.